All right. Hello, Team Traffic. Welcome to this month's Watch Me Work video with the one and only Mr. Boris. How you doing, Boris?
I think I actually might literally be the one and only. I may be, but I might have that title in the world.
Have
I'm
you
not sure.
ever Googled your name? Are you sure there are no more? How do
Oh,
you
no
say?
one comes up. No one comes
Yes.
up.
So
Yeah, I'm the
you
only.
are literally one of a kind.
But there could be some dude there could be just some dude floating around Eastern Europe who's just like out in the
Off the
mountains.
radar. Yeah,
Yeah, he's deep in
he's
the motorcycle off
he's
game.
not he doesn't leave a digital footprint.
Right. Exactly.
Well, cool. Thanks for hopping on with us again. For you guys that are new to Team Traffic or haven't watched last month's March's Watch Me Work, I highly encourage you to look back in the members area, check out that video so that you can get up to date with our discussion. So Boris is the CMO of Boom and Smart Marketer and right, all of Ezra's
Well, I
properties.
transferred out of Smart Marketer. I'm just solely in Boom.
Just
And
Boom now.
yeah,
So just Boom life.
booming out.
And one of Boris's responsibilities and something he's amazing at is Facebook ads. And as you guys know, I mean, a huge part of Boom's success over the last few years has been with Facebook advertising. So again, last month, we got you guys up to speed with what was going on inside of Boom's ad account. So the purpose of this video is to fill you in. It's mid-April now. About a month has gone by. A lot has happened. I'm sure some of it good, a portion of it not so good, as is the life in business and as a media buyer. But Boris, what's going on? Let's fill everybody in.
Yeah, totally. Let's start where we left off, and that's on the good. You know, we've been riding this this 4-month high that started in mid-December, and it's been amazing. It's been really great for our brand and for our bottom line. And the last thing we talked about on this call was we had launched our CDO campaign with interest-based targeting, which was new for us, Boom by Cindy Joseph. We hadn't been using that strategy much. We started off in the game just really niche. Like we had literally like a couple hundred saved targetings, and we were at some points just targeting people in certain states and really narrow demographics and age ranges and all that stuff. And as we scaled, we just had to open things up. And so the sort of genesis is we went from super niche. We were down to devices like women in Idaho who were on an iPad,
who were standing on one foot.
Exactly. We had hundreds and hundreds of ad sets, all these tiny budgets, and it worked really great for us. But as we scaled, this wasn't feasible. And so we had to keep opening it up and opening it up and opening it up until we got all the way to zero targeting, just all women in America, targeting them. And then you really encouraged us to give this interest targeting thing another shot. And so we did that, and we saw amazing results, just really, really impressive results. And so that went really well. And then we noticed on this last call, I noticed before that, but we talked about on this last call that only a few of the ad sets were really getting any of the budget, and the other ad sets had kind of dwindled. Some of those ad sets that weren't getting a ton of budget were still getting good performance. So it's not something we wanted to lose. Like we didn't want to just kill them. But you know, of the 11 ad sets, say like 4 of them were getting 80% of the budget or something like that.
Which we know is just sort of a function of CBO and something we should all be aware of. Yeah.
Totally. So I happened to get on a call with our ads rep, and she suggested just squishing. She was like, I was like, maybe I should just kill these ad sets. And she's like, I don't think because I don't want, anyway. So she said, why don't you just combine them? And I was like, well, like we never want to modify something that we've launched because we want the data to be clean. Yes. And when you start like making modifications after it's been running, then like later on, when you look back, it's hard to see what caused what.
Yeah. And usually it doesn't cause good things to happen from my experience.
So we squished them, and like it was fine. Like, it didn't seem to like boost performance, and it didn't seem to really hurt performance much. We just kind of kept riding that same really great wave that we've been riding since mid-December. And then I talked to you about it, and you suggested like we could try relaunching the campaign with like having the squished audiences be the original audiences rather than like the modified audiences halfway through. So I kind of was like waiting for the moment. Like I never, as a media buyer, like you never want to turn off something that's working.
I
It's
know.
just like,
You're like, I want to let it die and then duplicate and restart.
maybe when you first start and you're naive and you just think like you can just do this whenever you want, then
Yeah.
you might shut something off that's working. But like, I've been doing this a while now, and like you just know that hey, sometimes you shut something down, you relaunch it. I'm gonna kill my Slack real quick.
Yeah, no
Uh,
worries.
you relaunch it and hey, it's great or whatever. And then sometimes you relaunch it and your CPA doubles, and
Yeah.
you're just oh my god,
And
like
Boris, this
should I
is
have left
something,
it alone? Would
this
this
is
have happened
something
anyway?
Yeah, this is something I struggle with, especially with clients, because they'll want something changed or they're like, let's just try something new. But they don't understand it's not just, of course, I want to try the new stuff, right? And I want to make changes, but it's not just about making changes. Making the changes also throws off the optimization process. So that can be difficult for people to understand.
Yeah, totally. And so like the time came when like CPA was like just to fill you guys in, we were going to raise our prices. Boom was going to raise their prices. Us at Boom were going to raise our prices for the first time in like 5 years. And so we sent out some emails about our raise, and we said, hey, look, you're a value customers, and we just have to do this because prices go up, and like it's just
Inflation.
the nature of the world that prices go up, and we really try not to do this, but it's been 6 years or whatever since the last time we did it, and so we have to do it. But we're going to give you this opportunity to not only buy our products before they go up, but we're also offering you basically a sale. We're offering you a 10% discount to get the on the lower prices, and it was the best sale in a way ever for Boom.
Wow.
We did more revenue in those whatever it was 5 days or 7 days than we did in any Black Friday sale.
Wow. And just
Yeah,
telling people, hey, we're going to raise our prices next week, but for the next 5 days, buy our stuff. Fascinating.
totally. And look, we have like really built a brand following. Like that's what
Yep.
Ezra is a ninja at. Like his whole premise is the way you really build a brand is through story and through connection with the customer. And so
Yep.
we've been a content-based business forever, and we've been a sort of point of view based business forever. And so our customers, they're staying with Boom and they want Boom, and like we rarely ever offer discounts.
Right.
And so when we say, hey, we're going to raise our prices and here's a discount, our customers really care.
Yep.
Uh, so I'm not saying that this is going to work for everyone, but we had an amazing sale. Um, and then on the back side of
And
that
did you,
sale,
Boris, really quick, did you run any ads for that or was that purely email based?
I was like, it was just funny because I'm the ads guy, was a little bit like, I'm not so sure like how much ads are going to do, because I feel like if you're really going to take advantage of the sale, you're going to see the email and you're going to
Right.
click on one of those emails and you're going to either want the thing or not. And do we really have to pay extra money to get our ads in front of people? We ran ads and they like, I can go look at it, but they were like $4 sales or something. It was
Wow.
like,
Yeah, would love to see that. And
it was
guys, I think that's a good lesson because I make that assumption too a lot. Like, oh, they'll see it through email. But then you realize, okay, a good email open rate's 20%. So you've lost 80% of them right there, right? And then however many actually click through. So even just using ads to raise awareness for people that didn't see those emails, I'm not surprised it was so effective.
Totally. So those did great. And then we saw like over the next little bit, sort of our Then really the big shift. So CPA for us was already starting to rise a little bit, which wasn't surprising. The campaign had been running a while, and we have kind of been exhausting our creatives with just a ton of ad spend.
Right.
Um, and so Facebook really wants to get you sales, so they get you as many sales as they can as soon as they can. And so you get those easiest converting people in the beginning, and then just over time, you usually see, some diminishment in effectiveness. And so we were seeing that. Then we did the sale, and then as part of the sale, we tested new prices for our boomsticks. And our boomsticks, there are 3 makeup sticks, and they come in a bundle, and they're our front end offer. And almost everybody who converts for us from as a cold from like not knowing us to now are a customer are either buying a single boomstick or they're buying the trio.
Okay. And that's really what you offer in your pre-sale article too, if I'm not mistaken. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And all of our videos are like about Cindy's point of view that you don't need all this makeup and like just 3 sticks will do. So we're really selling this idea of 3 sticks. What Ezra likes to say
3
is people,
sticks will do the trick.
Exactly. People come for the makeup and they stay for the skincare. And we have amazing skincare too. So that's like, that's a really great aspect of our business. But the front end offer, the thing that gets people to buy into our brand is our makeup. And so Ezra wanted to test the price, and he raised the price quite a bit on some tests. He did some different pricing, and we can talk about that a little bit. But in any case, it was raised across the board, and it just crushed conversion. Like it just annihilated conversion. We went from,
and we mean crush in a bad way.
It killed us.
A lot of people out there crushing it, Boris.
Totally. And killing it. So I don't know what to say.
I know. Now, what negative do we use? Right.
It hurts. It hurt. Hurt never means good, right? Okay. Really hurt our performance. And, like when we're doing really well, we're able to spend on our awareness campaign, say about $10,000, and we're in the low to mid 50s is what it's costing us for a sale. That's when business is thriving. If we're anywhere under that, we are boosting it. We're trying to get as much spend as we can while times are good. And then as it gets above 60, we're getting a little like, oh, this isn't that great. And then once it hits 65, then we're like getting nervous. And if it hits 70, that's not really feasible for us.
Yeah.
And so we were seeing that come up into and I'm talking of the day of sales, because as many of you know, the way Facebook works is there's an attribution window. And so if you look at, say we're getting day 1 sales of $60, if I go back and look a week later, Facebook will say, oh, you really got $45 sales. And it's true, like that, there is that tail end of people buying, but we count on that as part of the day 1 sales. Like we just want to know what's happening on day 1. Since we've been running traffic for so long, like we know that this snowball is going to keep going. And whatever's happening today is going to keep happening, revenue to spend wise. Okay. And so I thought, hey, now is a good time. I didn't want to mess anything up, but I did want to try your idea of relaunching the campaign. And so now is a good time since performance is kind of tanking. But it also coincided with this price raise. And so when I relaunched the campaign, it just was not good.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like day 1, like $120 sales or something. We went from like 60 to 120. And I didn't want to like panic because rarely does Facebook start off real high and then go to something you're really happy with. But oftentimes it can start pretty high and then get to something that you can swallow kind of deal.
Right.
And so I didn't want to I wanted to really give it a few days, and then it didn't really recover that well. And Ezra said, look, we're testing prices right now, and basically we just have to throw this data out. This is not our standard data. But in any case, we haven't recovered. It's been 7 days or whatever of testing these new prices, and just today we decided we're not raising. We raised the price of every other product except our boomstick. Because
you need that price for your acquisition of customers.
Yeah. If we can't acquire a customer, then we don't have a business.
Yeah. Boris, what prices were you testing? Like what were boomsticks and like what were the different prices? I'm just curious. Is it $1 or like a $10 increase?
So a single boomstick is $27. And then the trio is $76.
Okay.
And I believe we tested 29 and 81 and 31 and 86. And I think even 29 and 79 to see if is 80 the bar that we can't really cross.
Right.
And the results were just everything got killed. And then Ezra told me today that he got really curious. So a couple days ago, he tested a lower price and it got crushed. So apparently 76 and 27 is just like the number. And we can't beat, like, those are the numbers people like for whatever reason.
Interesting.
I know, right? You never can tell why what works.
Yeah. And it could also just be a change. Like, I don't think there's a way to prove this, but I would even go to say that maybe Facebook is seeing these changes on your all's website and they're like, whoa, what's going on? I mean, I know that they index our landing pages. So I don't know, that would be.
Yeah, and there were split tests, so not everyone was seeing the same numbers. And so that could have been a problem as far as Facebook's concerned.
Absolutely.
Not exactly sure. But in any case, part of being a media buyer is these highs and lows. And
Yep.
sometimes you're just riding the wave and sometimes the wave's knocking you over. And
Yep.
you just got to kind of like, paddle back out and see if you can get the next one.
Yeah, and especially after I mean, you guys had a record first quarter. And so when you do something like that, you have a little bit of leeway to start testing. I mean, those price tests could have completely changed the business. Unfortunately, they didn't work so well. I mean, I know you guys raised your overall prices 10%, right? But you've decided with these boomsticks, let's keep the pricing where it was because we can't mess with our acquisition. So what's the plan moving forward? So you guys decided today, we're going to stick with our old prices. Are you going to now relaunch ads or what's your plan? Give it a little
I
time
figured
to
we give
settle?
it, like, now that things are stabilized, I thought we'd give it maybe 2 or 3 days to let the algorithm calm down, to let everything settle out
Yeah.
before we make any changes. And so I was kind of taking a wait and see approach. CPAs are a little bit down today. Like, they were like in the mid 70s or upper 70s yesterday, and now they're in the upper 60s.
Okay.
That could just be because Wednesday happens to be a good day today.
Yeah.
It could be that because that's a trend. And so we'll see over the next day or two what happens. If we can't seem to recover performance, I won't just stick with a campaign just because, like, I will ditch it if we have to.
That's not working. Absolutely. So I've got a few questions. I know we had 11 ad sets in this campaign before, and this is what we talked about last time. It was working, but only 3 or 4 of the ad sets were getting most of the reach. So what did you squish it down to? How many ad sets are there now?
Yes. So I took from our ad reps recommendation, I took the ones that were performing well but weren't getting much spend, and I basically, like, I took the best performing high spend and then the worst performing low spend and squished them, and then did it all the way to the middle. And I think we ended up down from 9 ad sets down to 5.
Cool. Okay. And that's, you guys will see in the rest of the Watch Me Work videos, I'm really finding 4 to 5 ad sets as the sweet spot with CBO for sure. And what's interesting, I don't know if you're seeing this, but I almost always now, especially in the last few weeks, is the ad set with the largest audience size is getting the most reach. So for you guys, it's probably no targeting, which, that's looks like to be the case here, this top one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But guys, definitely watch last month's Watch Me Work if you haven't had a chance, because you'll see the old setup for this and then how we've squished it down to 5 here.
Yeah, it looks like prices went back up a little bit earlier today. It was in the upper 60s. It was obviously early in the day, so it's always going to fluctuate throughout the day. But we'll see. We'll check back at the end of the day and see how it ended up doing.
Awesome. So I'm curious about this sale campaign that you ran, Boris. If you have time to walk us through that, because I think, and you know this more than anyone, running a campaign when you have a sale. Most of us, like, the best practices are usually very different, just because it's different than the evergreen campaign that you're running there for acquisition. You want to run that as long as possible, right? And to infinity. But with a sale campaign like this, we only have a few days. So what does your setup normally look like? I usually have one ad set just like you do here, but kind of walk us through how this worked.
Well, this was a little bit different than our usual sale.
Ad spend.
Yeah, right. That's really, I mean, if you can be doing a 17 and a half return on ad spend, then you're like Scrooge McDuck. You're just like kind of swimming in the money. But there was a guy recently who posted in the Train My Traffic Person channel, and he had a 40 ROAS.
Or in
And
team traffic.
yeah, team traffic, and he wanted to know
How to make it better.
which I was cracking up about.
You said
I don't know, man.
40
Could you tell me how to get 40 ROAS? I don't know.
Educate me, please.
So yeah, generally the way our sale campaigns work is they'll run, say, 5 to 8 days, and they'll kind of be a bit of a build up to them. Like some emails will go out saying, hey, we're gonna have this sale. Then we'll have it like maybe somewhere between 6 and 8 creatives, and we'll launch, like in the beginning we'll launch 4 of them, and then maybe add 2 more general creatives along the way. And then for the last like day or 2 of the sale, it'll say, hey, sale's ending soon, or last day of the sale, like buy now or whatever. So we'll kind of like go through that. That's our kind of creative process.
And all of that's in this one campaign, right?
So this is a little different because like I was saying, like to Ezra, like this, I feel like for this sale, this price raise sale, this is really like targeting like our loyal customers who want just like a chance to get the products one last time. And I wasn't like too keen on running ads for it.
Right.
And then he was like, hey, let's just run them for the last 2 days and see what happens.
Cool.
And
well, I'm glad you did.
Yeah, he's the I'm still the young Skywalker, and he is still Yoda or whatever.
Well, you guys balance one another.
Totally.
So you're targeting buyers all time. And it looks like in those 2 days, I mean, you had over 2,300 clicks and 424 purchases. So, I mean, that's like a, 20% conversion rate from people that are clicking. $4 acquisition of a customer. That's
we never,
awesome.
even for sales, we never see CPAs that low. Usually we're in this like upper single digits, or we're in like the 10, 12, $13 range.
Well, and this shows you the power, as you said earlier, of building a brand, right? But it also shows you the power of having a really good offer, because if it would have just been, here's a 10% off for a few days, it would have worked. But to say we are raising our prices moving forward, I mean, that is some of the best scarcity you could ever have.
And obviously, like when you like for instance, like I have certain brands where I won't buy it until they send me like it's 40% off. It's like, I know you guys, and you're gonna send me 40% off any second. 25% is not doing it for me. With Boom, we never do a sale over 10%. I think one time we did 15% on a single product or something, but we never like just do a general sale over 10%. So I think like it was our like sort of biggest discount plus the incentive of, hey, it's going to cost you more in the near future.
Awesome. And then what ads do you have in this guy?
Yeah, these ads were really simple. I actually went and found an old sale ad.
I saw these.
Yeah, I just went, we ran a sale for our moisturizers. The last sale we did was for our moisturizers. And I just ran and I found an old image ad that said sale ends tonight, because it was literally the morning of, and I was like, okay, let's just run it.
Yeah.
And it worked great.
Awesome. Very cool.
And this was the first time I think on this ad I figured out that you really can change the text.
Yes. Yeah.
Because so it's always something we've wanted to try, but our problem has been that we run so many campaigns over time, and our creatives are in so many places that to go find a top line creative and get it out of every single ad that it ever existed in is nearly impossible for us.
Yeah.
And this was a sale campaign that was just a single campaign, and I knew that this was the only place this ad was.
Yes, so you could go change it.
Non-boomer thing. So I got to keep a little bit of our social proof.
Amazing. And you guys will hear more about that in the rest of the Watch Me Work videos with my keto client. I went through that a few days ago, Boris. But what I did is I went through all the ads, and I was able to scroll like the whole account. And I was able to tick where every one of the ads, the ad I wanted to change lived. And then I just changed them all at once to some random Facebook post on their page. Then I could go change the copy. Then they were still selected in my other tab. So I could just go in. So I think it's easier if you know where the ads live, for sure. But
Totally.
being able to keep that social proof
And we've
is
changed our naming convention, so it's not like I can just sort by name. You know,
awesome.
over
No.
time, we've changed our naming convention. We've done like a million things. So it's just like, I just didn't even want to try. I knew it was going to be a failure. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is a great opportunity.
One
And then,
ad.
like, as advertisers, you well know that you always want to see, like, well, how does this affect things? So I got curious, and I
Yeah.
believe there was something like, God, it wasn't much. Let me go look at this ad real quick. But I think I want to say that this had like 20 likes or maybe 15 likes and a couple comments and a couple shares. But I wanted to see, like, okay, well, what is a little what is an ad with a little social proof compared to one with none?
None.
And so I
Ooh.
duplicated the ad and I made a fresh copy and I ran them against each other. Same creative, same text, same everything. As you can see, this one says existing social proof. This one doesn't say anything. And you can see the purchase price is the same. You know, the add to cart price is the same. But look where it spent all the money.
Wow, just the volume. And
Yeah,
that's fascinating. And that's why this is important, guys. That's why this snowball effect with social proof is so important, because it's not that it's necessarily going to get you like a dramatically lower cost. Facebook's just much more willing to put that one out there because they know it's not going to be a bad user experience. Cool test.
totally.
And look at even the click-through rate is much higher. And
Yeah,
the
I saw
relevance
that.
score is the same, you
And
know?
look, I mean, when something only spends $131, it's not the most accurate data in the world. So I don't want to say that
Right.
like the reason that the first one had a higher click through rate, but it's probably true. It's probably true that people unknowingly registered the social proof and were
Yeah.
more likely to check it out
Yep.
than with not social proof.
Well, and Facebook's just going to give the one with existing social proof more spins. Like they're
Exactly.
just willing to give it more reach out of the gate. So it's always going to outspin the other one. Uh,
Totally.
really cool. Anything else on your mind, Boris? So we squished down, relaunched the CBO campaign, but then that sort of coincided with this price increase, which is fascinating and really cool to hear where you guys landed with that. Anything else you want to talk about? Thoughts moving forward?
Yeah, like so, like as you well know, you like suggested, hey, like I really think that our founder Cindy Joseph passed away last year unexpectedly, and as a reaction to that, we sort of took down all our videos featuring her because we just wanted to like collect our thoughts around that, and we had a pretty deep philosophical discussion with you around this, and we kind of had this feeling, and you kind of like gave us reality about it, which is like her mission really was to spread this idea of like feeling right about yourself, and this pro-age movement, and this product line is not designed to sell you on how you're wrong and you need to get all these creams to fix yourself, but rather like you could just celebrate the age you are. And really there's no one better than her that we know of to really spread this message out there to the world. And so the big shift for us back in December was to start reusing the ads that she's in. And that went really well for us. And we got a lot of positive response from, the Facebook world. And so that went really well. And we also have kind of like, and then since we were doing so well in performance, we scaled up our budget. And so we kind of have burnt out these creatives in a way. Like eventually over time, no matter how good the creative is,
It's
eventually
just fatigued.
and
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of hitting that spot. And so not only am I like the media buyer for Boom, but I am the chief. I'm not the content creator, but I'm like sort of the content curator. So we have
Wrangler.
this like, yeah, exactly. Ezra has done an amazing job of building a business around content. And as such, we have just this huge library of content. We've sort of exhausted most of Cindy, her videos and her points of view, but we have all these other women talking about Boom.
Mm.
And so what I'm doing right now is I'm just going through those videos and I'm just like kind of piecing together stories. Like, I get a thread going and I find all the women talking about a certain thing, or like I get a specific idea going about like, let's talk about pro age, or let's talk about, the simplicity of the three products or whatever. And so like what I'm kind of doing right now is being a amateur video editor. Um,
I love it. And sort of, you know, because for us, when we pulled your all's best ads from last year, most of the top 5, which you guys can check this out. There's a video called the 2019 Media Plan. I think it's what it's called in the members area, but you can see what these ads looked like for Boom. But most of them were your amateur videos with the, you know, too old, too fat, you know, model, right? Or something about pro age. But some of
Okay,
them.
well, just for some context, Cindy has this interview where she says, "I'm too old, I'm too short, I'm too fat," and she was talking about being a professional model because she was discovered late in life. And so that we used that giant headline, "I'm too old, I'm too short, no, I'm too old, I'm too fat," the too old, too fat model, or something like that. And that just like really did well for us.
So are you creating more ads like that with the video, with the banner at the top, but just, I mean, obviously we're not getting more video footage from Cindy. So what's your, like, what are you going for now?
What I do is I just like I go back and I find, like, here I am in my video editor, and I go back and I find, I think, like what I think of as compelling clips. And our sort of formula has been, I don't know why it's stuck. Our formula has been like Cindy pitch, switch to a demo, and then testimonials.
Yeah.
And so I started off, I found this news story where I really liked what she had to say. And then we switched to this woman who was part of our WAPAR women, where Women of the Pro-Age Revolution, where we got all these women to just talk about their experience of aging. And she says in this clip, "My husband of 40 years was like, whoa." And as soon as I heard her say that, I was like, this is gold. And so I'm gonna do one edit where it starts off with Cindy and the news clip talking about how she's like starting this pro-age revolution, and she's creating this cosmetic line around that idea. And then I'm gonna switch to this woman who's like, "I tried the products and I had them on for the first time, and I walked out and my husband was like, whoa." And so I'm gonna set it up this way, but I'm also gonna try chopping this video up in several different ways. Like, for instance, I want to have the opening line be, "My husband was like, whoa," then switch to Cindy, like pitching the idea behind the product.
Yeah.
And then to, I have women at the end who were also part of this campaign of the Women of the Pro-Age Revolution, who are talking about the Boom message and why the Boom message is important. So it's all of them say, "The Boom message is so important because I just think it's time for women to really embrace who they are and not feel wrong about this natural thing that's happening to them." And it's like each woman says something about why the Boom message is important to them. And that's how we end the video.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
This is fantastic, Boris. And what's interesting, I taught a workshop last Tuesday in Brisbane. And, you know, obviously I show a lot of what you guys are doing with Boom. And a few people were asking me, like, you know, things about, well, why did he choose this color in the video? Or like, did someone professional do this? And I'm like, guys, don't get so caught up on how this looks. Like, there is a special sauce here with you guys using the headline at the top. But why this works, in my opinion, is the hook. You know, you are picking topics that people are very interested in. And we all know that to scale, it's not about finding little hacks or tricks in Facebook to scale. There are some women who might be interested, but might not respond as much to the, for example, too old, too fat model video, right? But then they see this and maybe they're having trouble in their marriage, or maybe their marriage is very important to them, and they would respond.
Can't remember the last time their husband said, whoa.
Exactly.
You know? Oh, I want that.
Exactly. And so this would just really call out to them, where the other hook or the other message might not resonate as much. So I think that's important. And I'm so glad you brought this up. When it comes to scale, remember, it's not just increasing budgets, and it's not just creating new creatives, you know, to make sure that we don't have fatigue. It's also like, let's pick some new hooks, I guess is the best way to put it, that will draw in people that might not have completely resonated with the other messages we're putting out there.
And it's so important to get your hook in early. You gotta you literally have about 3 to 5 seconds. And if you don't have their attention in 3 to 5 seconds, they're out of there.
Yeah.
And so like, that's why that video that starts, I'm too old, I'm too short, I'm too fat. Like, first of all, Sydney Joseph, if you go to our website or you see her, she's just like stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
So for her to, first of all, you're just like kind of like shocked that this woman is like, what do you mean? You want to know more? And so once you get them hooked, then you can tell your story. But if you try to just go through like a slow, or like you try to like, you have a big long intro.
There's like,
like, I mean, people are scrolling and you got to get them to stop.
And that's why I love you guys putting these headlines at the top of the video, because I don't tend to watch videos, honestly. But if I saw this headline, it would intrigue me enough to watch. And this is interesting. You guys will also see this in the other Watch Me Work videos. You know, some of my clients are docuseries clients. So they're professional filmmakers, and they'll send me a video for us to use as a Facebook ad. And the first 10 seconds is like their logo and like fancy music and like this buildup. And I remember the first time I told them, guys, I need you to chop off the first 10 to 15 seconds. They were like, you know, why would we do that? And it's because we've got to catch their attention right off the bat.
This is not an art project.
No, it's not.
You're trying to get someone to buy something.
Yeah, and people at the workshop were like, whoa, Boris is making these on his own in ScreenFlow or whatever you're in right now. I'm like, yeah, I mean, nothing against your skills. This looks great, but you're not a professional video editor.
No, in fact, I tried to go teach myself Premiere, and I was like, I am not a professional video editor. ScreenFlow is like intuitive and simple. It's just like rudimentary.
I got this down.
You're not going to do a bunch of fancy stuff in here, but you can just like make an edit. And then I just was like, this is beyond me to use one of these fancy professional editors.
Yeah, and it works, and it doesn't look too overproduced, which also screams I'm an ad. So really cool, Boris. Anything else? This has been amazing. I love keeping up. This is, as I said last time, it's kind of like a reality show. I'm like, what's going to happen next?
Another thing that people might want to consider what we're doing right now is, we're launching a new product called Boom Gold. And as you can, right here, this campaign is called Boom Gold Lead Gen. It's set up for conversions, and then it's optimized for leads at the ad set level.
Awesome.
And so basically what we're trying to do with this ad set is just to build anticipation for upcoming launch. And we're able to get, 1,000 leads for 91 cents a piece. So Amazing. We spent $986. We got, almost 1,100 leads.
Great.
And, it made some sales too. The people that viewed this ad, they then went and bought some stuff. And so we're gonna make money on this campaign. We know that. We know this is gonna be like a good return on investment. And like, we only spent $1 for each person who said to get, basically all we are doing is getting people to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested when this thing comes out. I would like to know more about it. Yeah. And say only 25% of them actually bought. Well, that's still only costing us $4 a sale.
Absolutely.
So it's still going to be valuable for us, and it's really good to just build that sort of momentum coming up to a new product launch.
You're building anticipation. So you're targeting buyers here, and then what do your ads say? Are they just, hey, new products coming?
Exactly, without saying what it is. It's all like they all allude. Yeah, so we don't use the product anywhere. Soon there will be a new Boom to love, and then we have like a little customer testimonial. We like using these 5 stars. We see the little boost in performance there in general, and it just says new Boom coming soon.
And then does that go to like a squeeze page for us?
Yeah.
Cool.
I could show you that real quick. And then just, hey, put your email in, be the first one. It's coming. Get excited.
Easy. Yeah. Love that.
The ad that's doing the best is a GIF or a GIF. I think it's a GIF, but you may have a different point of view.
I say both. It's like niche or niche.
Right. Well, the guy who created it said it's a GIF.
Well,
but Papine, who's our tech expert, says it's a GIF. And so him and I get into a little bit around it. But this is our best performing one. Got a couple of little emojis. Hey, we got a big announcement coming. And we a little hint, like hint, it's our most luxurious skincare yet. And then it's just a GIF that plays on a loop. It's coming April 24th, and then it just starts over. And that one's doing the best.
It's beautiful. And for these, you do work with a design company, right? I know you're working with Allison.
Yeah, we have
Like,
a graphic designer.
I'm lucky to be in your all Slack and kind of see how this works, but I do think there is still a place for, you know, us to work with professional designers as media buyers. Obviously you can do, you know, the videos on your own, the ones that we were looking at, but you know, this is something that a designer would need to do. How does that process work? I'm just curious. Like, do you meet with Allison and say, hey, we're doing this Boom Gold thing, here are my ideas? Like, well, what's that process like?
Well, like it's kind of been like a relationship where I have to tell her less and less as the relationship goes on. And like in the beginning,
He starts to read your mind.
yeah, or it's more like she gets the idea of direct response marketing.
Yeah.
Again, this is not an art project. She's a graphic designer. She's going for what looks beautiful. And in this case, like fine, like it doesn't need to. Like we are appealing to customers who have already bought our message, and so it doesn't have to quite have the grab. You don't have to really get them by the shoulders kind of feel. But like for our direct response ads, I had to like really say, hey, look, like I think these are really beautiful, and they're just not going to work. Like we have pre-sale ads that we run, and we've like been trying some new pre-sales. Like so, our number one pre-sale is our 5 makeup tips for older women. But then we've tried like 5 tips for feeling more beautiful at any age, and like 5 tips for letting your hair go gray, and all. So we have all these different articles that we've tried. And when we first had her create image ads for them, they were all literally useless. Because she had like some lady on a beach, like with like
looks
some
like
really,
an ad.
yeah, it just like was not compelling.
Yeah.
And so it was like kind of this relationship where I said, hey, look, like we need something that's gonna like grab people's attention more. And so it's kind of like give your feedback, and then she gets better and better and better at producing beautiful ads and not just beautiful imagery.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of times when people are struggling with a designer, it's because they want to create a beautiful photo or beautiful art, but that's not always what converts the best. So is there a feedback loop? So like you tell her we've got this coming up, and do you kind of say this is how many ads we need? Do you give her any direction now?
Well, yeah, I do for certain things, but like we kind of have our standards down now. Like we need like for a sale, we need, 6 to 10 ads. We need 2 that say it's ending soon. So like actually like my relationship, like the amount of work I do with her is very little these days.
Yeah.
It was like a much more involved process in the beginning, and now like she kind of gets it. And like she's the one who created that let's see, this ad right here.
And while you're pulling that, I've been sending Allison all of the AdSumer reports that you guys get in the members area. If you haven't seen them, check them out. And also my designer. And they're like, ooh, like they love getting those new ideas. So send those to your designers that you guys are working with to give them inspiration.
So she created this ad, which actually did well. I was surprised by it. I didn't think it was going to do that great because it's just kind of plain, but it did pretty well. And I was like, can we have that style with a big text overlay that like looks kind of contemporary, and like that really calls your attention to the text. And
right.
Then she gave us this, and this ad just crushed it.
Yep.
It's got that look of like these like kind of popular magazines with the text overlay with the color blocks behind them. Yep. It's, I think, a really like nice, appealing peachy color, and the model looks great. And like this is our best performing image ad for our 5 makeup tips in like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Like this ad just did really, really, really wonderfully for us. And so it's kind of like that where you get this and you say, okay, this is nice and it did fine, but like we can make this more direct response. Like we can get a little more juice out of this idea.
Absolutely.
And then get something like this.
Yep, so important to a lot of people just send the designer their landing page and they're like, create some Facebook ads for me. But especially when you're just getting started with a designer, so important to give them direction because they want to create a beautiful photo or a beautiful art, and that's not always the best converting ad.
Yeah, and it was a really good exercise for me because like I had to articulate the ideas. You know, you have
Yeah,
to think about like, okay, well, how am I going to communicate this to
yeah.
somebody
Can
else?
I
And like,
find examples? Do you guys
exactly.
have a feedback loop? Like after you run a sale, do you tell Allison like what worked best or what didn't work best so that she
And that's
knows?
definitely one area that we could like step up our game. You know, it's something that we've done in the past, and then I've kind of like been like, hey, these are the ones that did well, and then
Right,
things get busy, and she's got a million projects, and we haven't really
of
been doing.
course. The post-mortem stuff usually is the first to go because you're on to the next project. I know when I was a digital marketer, John actually created a really cool Excel sheet that so Brittany would create the ads and she would see them in this Excel sheet and then it would populate the results. And so
Mhm.
she could go back, every week or so and look at what worked or what didn't. So I didn't have to remember to do that. You should get John to send that to you. But yeah, I think that's such an important discussion. We've got to give designers direction if we're working with them, or just do your own video editing like Boris does.
One way to do it.
All right, buddy. Well, this is awesome. Anything else to add? Lots happened this month. You guys are
I
still
think
rocking
that's
and
it.
rolling though, even with the price mishap.
Yeah, I think that's it for now. And like our next thing is to like see if now that we've settled on a price, which is our original price, that like things start to settle down, and then if that campaign doesn't recover, we'll have to relaunch it and test some of these new creatives that I'm working on now.
Cool. Well, I can't wait to see what happens. And Team Traffic, you guys will be in the know because Boris and I will chat again next month. And you'll see what's happened over the next month in the world of Boom. Cool. Thank you so much, Boris. And if you guys have questions, as always, tag us in the Facebook group and talk soon, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Hey guys, Molly here. I hope you're having an awesome month. Been having fun interacting with you guys in the Facebook group. So this video is a sneak peek into what I'm doing for two of my clients. I think these examples are broadly applicable, and there are a lot of experiences in here from this month that I want you guys to see inside, I guess is the best way to put it. So the first client here that I want to show you, and if you guys have been in Team Traffic a few months, you've seen me talk about this docuseries. It's called The Real Skinny on Fat. I also shot some video about this docuseries and what I'd done inside of this account back in February. So check those out in the members area. But just long story short, this is a client I've had for about a year. And this is a docuseries funnel, which basically means that a filmmaker creates a docuseries, which are usually 25 plus hours of film. And they break it into a 9-part funnel. And it works so that either on Evergreen or a few times a year, like this client is in a launch right now, they choose to only premiere, or only, I guess not premiere wouldn't be the word, but only do a viewing of their docuseries a few times a year. So this gives us this real launch feeling to this, right? Which works very well. And the goal, you guys can go to therealskinnyonfat.com to check this out. But what we're doing, we've got a trailer here that just shows, a bit of the film. And they're opting in to watch the docuseries for free. So this is happening on May 14th. We just started ads a week ago. So we are going to spend $100,000 over the course of a month to generate as many leads as we can for $100,000. So that means I need to spend on average $3,300 a day, a little bit more, just so you guys know the math here, to really pace out my budget. Now, how we came up with that is that we've done this 3 times before. So last summer, we were able to generate some pretty awesome results. You can see these opt-ins or the number of leads for their launch here on a much smaller budget. This was only like a $25,000 budget. Then we really upped it. And at the beginning of this year in January, all of these campaigns were run. And I talked a lot about these in February's Watch Me Work. But you can see we spent a lot more. I think we generated, let's just see here because I'm curious. Click through all of these. So last January from Facebook, we generated about 65,000 opt-ins for $1.08 a piece. So we spent about $71,000. And the reason for that is that they knew how the funnel worked, right? They committed the first 25 to the first launch about a year ago. They knew that these types of funnels were proven, but they had never run, this particular sequence before. And so after we proved the model with 25 grand and they were able to make their money back and some, we then went to a little over a $70,000 budget. So the goal now, we bumped it up even more, is to spend $100,000. And just to give you a little bit more insight, here's the page. So it's actually a pretty long page. We're also testing a much shorter version of this page, which I will give you guys more split test information about that next month. Right now, this page is converting at about 49%, which is very good for us. It's keeping the cost per lead down, even though Facebook traffic's a bit more expensive than it was a year ago. You'll see that we have here some push crew notifications. These actually aren't working very well for us right now. We're about to remove that from the page. I think it's a little bit too busy. But also notice something that we're doing for the first time. So people opt in, but they also have the opportunity to check this box here. And when they click through, they'll become a Messenger subscriber. So it's interesting because as you'll see, we've already driven about 16,000 leads for this in the past week. And we've generated a little over 3,000 new Messenger subscribers just very passively. So about a third of the people who have opted in here have also clicked to say that they wanted to subscribe on Messenger. And the reason that they're subscribing, so we're using this opt-in checkbox hero tool. And so I've set this up to where when they click that button, right? So they click this button, then they click here. It opens in Messenger and says, welcome, click the button below and we'll notify you via Facebook Messenger when the episodes are live. If you ever want to unsubscribe, just type stop. And then when they click notify me, it just says, great, we'll let you know when the episodes are live. Because what's important about this funnel is that we're going to do this lead generation build up for a month. And then for 9 days, we're going to release the docuseries in 9 separate parts. So on day 1, so on May 14th, you'll get access to episode 1 for free. On May 15th, you'll get access to episode 2 for free, and then that will expire. On the next day, May 16th, you'll get access to episode 3 for the day, and then that will expire. And then after those 9 days, and actually even during those 9 days, you guys should go through this funnel to see it. We're also offering them lifetime access to the docuseries. If they would like to watch it at any time online, they can buy that. They can buy DVDs. They can buy a flash drive. Eventually, after the 9-day viewing, we'll make offers for different physical products around the keto diet. And other supplements and things that they consume. So this makes a really good funnel because we're giving a ton of value first, 9 episodes worth. We're also able to monetize the docuseries, and we're also able to sell other products after the fact. It functions very similar to a webinar or any sort of lead magnet. But anyways, a big reason that having them as Messenger subscribers is important is not only that we can reach back out to them later through broadcast, but when these episodes start going live beginning May 14th, we're going to send broadcasts out of mini chat here to all of these subscribers to ensure that they're actually watching the episodes, which is a huge part of this funnel. Again, very much like a webinar, right? You want them to actually consume the information. So, all right, I think we've set the stage enough here. Docuseries funnel, but what I'm about to show you really applies across the board, guys. This is all about the keto diet. And this is our third go around on a launch. So now we have $100 grand to spend. And as I said, we've got a month to spend it. So that's about $3,300 a day. So what I did, I started out ads a week ago, and I've got 2 campaigns that I've been running here, and I'll explain why. And so far we've generated a little over 16,000 leads for $1.02 a piece. So this is good. I'm very happy with this, especially because now that we've done this launch a few times, they know that they're going to make $2.70 per lead. So they've decided that they're willing to spend up to $2 a lead. So as long as I can keep this below $2 a lead, they're going to be very, very profitable. Even assuming that they didn't make the conversion elements of their funnel better, which I know they have since the last time. So we've got a lot of wiggle room here, and I'm very happy with how this is working off the bat. Since I've run ads in this market before and I'm very confident, I started with 2 CBO campaigns. And the reason I did 2 CBO campaigns is it's hard to have more than 4 ad sets in a campaign where you're using CBO, where you're setting budget at the ad set level. And the reason I use CBO is I've worked with this client before. I know that our ads work. I know they resonate with the market. And so CBO is going to allow me to get that volume, the volume of leads I need at the low cost that I'm looking for very quickly. But I wouldn't put more than 4 ad sets in a CBO campaign because CBO tends to optimize for, the top 3 to 4. So I actually set up 2 campaigns right off the bat, and I started them each at $1,000. I knew I wanted to get up, to 3,300, but starting at $1,000, which is $2,000 between them, is more than plenty. I could have started at $100 a piece or $50 a piece if I wanted, but because I'm confident with this offer and what's going on, I actually started at $1,000. So let me show you, these campaigns are identical. The only difference is the targeting. And you can see my targeting document here. I took a lot of what worked last time. So these at the top here were interests that I had used in the past. So different things around the keto diet, an app around the keto diet, ketone bodies, ketosis, Atkins diet, paleo, Julian Bakery, low carb Zen. I mean, I went deep on these guys, just like you see me do in the February Watch Me Work, where I'm doing the interest research targeting for Boom. I'm going so deep on this market, and anyone that I think is health conscious and would be open and interested in information on the keto diet. So I'm just scrolling through here. I mean, you can see anyone interested in paleo, I know is probably going to be interested. So I went deep there. I'm even targeting the Atkins diet nutritionist himself, the guy that came up with it. Sugar-free people, right? Sugar substitutes, paleo diet, paleo mama, 100 days of real food, organic skincare brands, clean eating brands, doctors that I know talk about healthy eating, eating clean, Food Babe, Hungry Girl, different recipes, right? Then I sort of go into weight loss and how I can target people who I know are looking for weight loss. Companies that aid people in this, like Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, Light and Easy, Magazine, Recipes, BioTrust, influencers like Shailene Johnson, people who are getting healthy food on delivery through HelloFresh, or working out through high intensity training, or working out at Planet Fitness, or following these fitness influencers. But you can see how deep I went into this market, which is a huge, huge reason this is so successful, and that we're getting a higher volume of leads at the same cost that we were in previous launches. So I just want to walk you through how I separated these out. So we're targeting US, Canada, UK, Australia. That's where we can sell our product. And all of these, I was pretty much keeping over 20 million. So I just started at the top of the list, like you guys saw up here, and I started to input them until I reached a nice size. So this one's 50 million. And I've got age and gender open. This one's 43 million. So these are more low carb stuff. And you can see I just went right down my list. This one's 40 million. I've got auto placements on all of these. The conversion window is 1 day after clicking or viewing. Really, really simple here. This one is 68 million. So that's a bunch of weight loss. And I'll show you the ads in these inside of here in a minute because they're identical to this next campaign. So I created that, then I just duplicated, and you'll see again, the differences here are just, this is different interests here. We've got Beachbody, Jenny Craig, 47 million in this one. Number 3 here, healthy food, healthy recipes. Number 4, some more fitness interests. What's interesting is in this campaign, this one is doing so well. The healthy diet, healthy essentials. I'm not sure exactly why, but we really hit the nail on the head with this one. But really all of them are performing well, guys. Notice, all of these ad sets are really doing their job. There's no need to go in and turn off the ones that are more expensive, like this ad set or this campaign in aggregate is 97 cents. This one is $1.07, but all of the ad sets and my campaign as a whole, they're all under my $2 success metric that I know I need. And they're all helping me get the volume of results that I need. Sure, I might turn this one off because it's the most expensive ad set, but this is where I'm getting more than a half of the leads from this particular campaign. So really important to keep in mind. And then inside of all these ad sets, they're identical. So you'll notice the relevance scores are very high for these ads. The first 2 are video ads that I've used in the past. You guys have probably seen me use. The social proof is insane. That's why I've been using them over and over again. Join Montel Williams and me as we host the new docuseries on the keto lifestyle. The viewing starts May 14th. Reserve your spot now as they are limited, completely free to view. Free viewing of new keto docuseries, and just look at that social proof. It's just insane. So using this, that's a little video ad. That's the trailer that you see on the homepage there. And then I've got another ad that's using the same trailer. The copy's just a little bit different. Again, really, really good social proof. And then something I knew I needed to do, instead of just using these 2 video ads that already have social proof, I knew I needed to introduce an image because there are a lot of people in these audiences that just don't watch a lot of videos. So I'm missing out on a huge portion of scale from my market. So this was a completely new ad that I launched here with these other guys. That's just as simple, has a bunch of the speakers here. And it says, we're demystifying the keto lifestyle in this 9-part docuseries, completely free to watch. And just in a week, look at the amount of social proof. It's very, very impressive. And the reason a lot of this copy is very basic and simple, guys, is also because of policy, right? I can't say things like, do you want to eat, lose weight? Do you want to feel better, right? I got to be very careful there. So this copy isn't even as emotional or as good as I would like it to be. But really happy with how all of these are performing. And I don't need more than 3 in these ad sets, guys. I'm going for a volume game here, not a split testing game. So we started at $1,000 a day between these 2. So let me show you how this has gone over time. I haven't turned anything off at all. I've just increased budgets so far. So we started off at $1,000 a day. And that day we generated 891 opt-ins at 87 cents a piece. So I was really happy with how things were looking out the gate, but I knew it was going to, things were going to get a bit cheaper, then more expensive. So we went to over 22 opt-ins the second day at 77 cents a lead. I was very happy with that. So I bumped all the budgets up from $1,000 a piece, right? So we started at $1,000 a piece. Now we're at $1,700 a piece. But the first move I made on day 3 was to $1,300 a piece. So I let Facebook digest that. But I was really happy on day 3. So I bumped it up but we did go to 2,800 opt-ins, and they went up to 91 cents a lead, which is still totally this is expected. This is how it works. From there, it went up to 96 cents a lead on the fourth day at 33,000. That's when I bumped the budgets up to $1,700 a piece. You can tell it kind of screwed with things because the next day, to only 2,900 opt-ins at $1.15. I should have waited until like today to make that budget shift. I was just too gung ho. So oops. But you can see by making this increase, it just really screwed with my optimization here, but that's okay. We went up to 115. The next day we were 115, but still almost 3,000 leads a day. Very happy with volume. Today we're at about $1.27 a lead, 1,500 opt-ins. You know, the day we still have a long way to go. But I'm still happy with this campaign. It's just showing me that this is starting to fatigue. So my plan, we've spent $16,000. So we've got, $84,000 left to spend, and we've got 3 weeks to do it. So what I'm going to do is starting at the end of this week, probably on Friday, I'm going to launch 2 new campaigns. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to find some new interests. So one campaign is going to be completely new interests, 4 ad sets with completely new interests in them that are similar to what's working here inside of my ad sets. I'm also going to start introducing some lookalike audiences since we have some data back on this pixel now, and some lookalike audiences of buyers from last time. From there, so for that campaign, I'll just use these same 3 ads that we have. I'm just horizontally scaling, and I'll probably start that around $750 a day. I'm also going to create another campaign that's targeting the top 4 ad sets. So I'm just going to go into these 2 campaigns and pull out the 4 ad sets that are doing the best in terms of volume of results. And I'm going to use those 4 ad sets, and I'm going to test 2 completely new ads. Now, I will have, we could run into an issue here where I'm essentially competing against what's working in these campaigns. But by Thursday or Friday of this week, I'm not really going to care because those are going to fatigue, right? We're going to be getting close to the $2 mark. So I'm going to start running some new ads to that audience to see if I can overcome fatigue and see if I can catch anyone who might have seen our previous ads, but weren't interested. And maybe they're interested in the new video or image or the new copy that I show them. So we're going to have a new campaign that launches at the end of this week, targeting brand new audiences and 4 ad sets, lookalikes, and some new interests, with the same 3 ad sets we have in each of these ad sets here. And then I'm also going to create another campaign that's targeting the top 4 ad sets from these 2 campaigns with 2 to 3 brand new ads to see if we can overcome fatigue. So my hope here is that one or both of these campaigns will work very, very well, and I can start to scale those as I turn these off, as they start to die and reach the $2 mark. I mean, we're still a long way from there in terms of aggregate, right? In aggregate, we're still only at the $2 mark, 16,000 leads. So this campaign might go for 2 more weeks or 3 or 4 more weeks, but we're just going to have to see on that. So this is this account, guys. I hope this was helpful. I'll keep you updated. I'll shoot another video here. It'll be a part of the next Watch Me Work in May, that shows you how this launch finishes out. If we get to spend the 100 grand, how the episode delivery ads work, how the retargeting works when we start to sell them stuff. I'll go through the rest of that launch. But I also want to show you what's going on with another client that is the same exact business model, a docuseries, but this one's about money. And I want to show you this because it shows you how different things can be between markets. We've also had some serious policy issues, so much to where they've blocked our URL right now and we can't run ads. But I'm going to show you, how I'm trying to overcome that, because I know a lot of you guys deal with things like that yourselves. But again, this is just a a docuseries, but this one's about money. So it has Kiyosaki, it has the founder of Whole Foods, and a bunch of people who have done really well in their lives talking about money, how they invest money, what they do with their debt. It's highly educational. It's the same exact funnel as this docuseries. This one's just about keto and this one's about finance. You'll see that they're testing here, this short form page that I told you we were actually testing here too. It's the same tech team working on both of these. So I'll let you know how this goes. But let me tell you the full story here. So this one's interesting. Oh, and something else I wanted to note, guys. We had a lot of issues with this keto docuseries when it came to policy 2. I ended up naming this Keto Protein, this business manager, that for some reason. This is our 6th business manager, and this is just called Main. And this is called the Real docuseries, so that nothing looks like we're selling weight loss products or really anything to do with a diet. We just named these kind of random things. I don't know how much that helped, but I just wanted to show you guys that. Okay, so let's go back into money revealed. So the goal here was, let's spend 100 grand, Molly, but we've never run ads in this market before. We have no idea what to expect, but we're just willing to go for it. Now, I told them right off the bat, this is going to be very different than the $1 to $2 leads we get in the keto market, or the $1 to $2 leads we get in the Christian market, or the, $3 to $5 leads that we get in the marketing market or the entrepreneur market. The finance market generally is more expensive, and I'm expecting anywhere from like a $7 to $15 cost per lead, but they were still willing to go through on this. Now, what we did is I kept this campaign very, very simple, and that's because of what I was needing to do for this client. This goes live actually today, so this launch started on the 23rd. But you can see that we started ads. So the launch started on the 23rd. I forgot the specific date. And we launched ads on the 9th here. And so I only had 2 weeks instead of a month to spend this 100K. And so my goal was to come out of the gate very similar to these keto launches or these keto campaigns, and get as much volume as I could as cheaply as I could. Now, first off, you can see total here. Number one, this is a brand new ad account. I didn't get much of a heads up that this was being launched, or I would have run some content to these people first, or seasoned this account in some way. But we had to do what we had to do here. So you can see total before these ads got shut down last week, we had generated a little over 8,000 leads at a little over $5 a lead, which we were very, very happy with. And almost half of the budget spent. So this isn't a complete fail. As you can see, when we launched the keto docuseries, we only spent 25 grand the first launch. This is still going to give them enough to work with, right? Enough leads to work with. And they also have affiliates. But it's disappointing that all of our ads got shut down. But let me show you how things started. So I started with one campaign with just 3 ad sets using CBO because I knew I needed volume out of the gate. And so same thing here with interest targeting. I did my research, and it's the same structure as all of the other ad sets you saw. Targeting Kiyosaki, Motley Fuel. These are a little bit smaller here, just because this market's smaller. So this one is 43 million of Millionaire Next Door, Financial Management, Wealthy Advisor, Wealth Academy, Wealth Creation. Okay, great. And we also found that the conservative audience works very well they're very interested in this docuseries. So I've got a bunch of interests around conservative people and where they're hanging out on Facebook. And then inside of these ad sets, we just have one ad because I knew that we really needed to generate the social proof quick. So we had the trailer and very simple ad copy so that we weren't going to trigger anything in Facebook, anything with policy. So the social proof is fantastic. We're demystifying wealth in the World Series premiere of Money Revealed. Very, very simple. We're using the trailer here. This is all we needed to get off the ground. Again, 3 ad sets. Now let's see how this performed over time. For those of you guys that are interested. So you can see we started this day, April 9th. We started late in the day, so only 121 opt-ins at 6:30 a piece. But you can see we started to ramp things up. I did start this at $3,000 and was able to scale this particular campaign to $10,000 a day over the course of these 9 days, which was the reason for that is I had to be very, very quick. So I went from 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 10. And you can see it actually scaled very nicely. So the cost went down. So we went to 446, we went up to 472, 491, but now we're getting 1,000 leads a day. It started to fatigue a bit here as I really started scaling. But we were very happy with these results. Unfortunately, and while I was doing this, as you guys can see here, I ignore these two. I had some technical issues. Sometimes, guys, if you launch a campaign and it just doesn't work, like you're not getting reach or something seems off, just turn them off, duplicate, and restart like I did here. But you can see I launched 2 new campaigns here. And the goal of these was to introduce some new targeting. So the only difference here is that these have more targeting here. So this actually had no targeting. This one was more around Christianity, which we knew was a big overlap. This was MLM, which we knew was an avatar too. So I started to run these campaigns, you can see on the 16th and the 17th, to try to get some scale going because I could see that campaign was dying, very similar to what you saw in the Keto docuseries. But unfortunately, all of this was going well, first off. And these were just getting started. These were early numbers. I was happy with this. And I was feeling confident that we could hit our 100K number just by continuing to scale this, but also starting to scale these. You can see I'd already increased them. I started these, I think, at $1,000 a day, and I'd increased these to $2,500 a day. Unfortunately, we had an issue with policy. And what happened is something was posted to the Facebook page that was against policy and boosted. I've since deleted it from here, but it was against policy. And as soon as that happened, all of our ads got disapproved, and not just disapproved. Let me see where I can get this banner. We got this that I've never seen before, destination URL issues. So they actually blocked our whole URL. This ad isn't running because it promotes financial products and services such as binary options, initial coin offerings that are frequently associated with misleading or deceptive promo practices. Blah, blah, blah. For ads that promote cryptocurrency and related products, the advertiser must first receive our prior written permission. So we clicked here to try to get permission, even though this isn't about cryptocurrency, which is what they're trying to prevent. We went to get approved. They shut us down. We then requested review of these ads. But honestly, the person that did it, it was kind of in a rude tone, which, guys, it matters. Like, there's a human reading these, and if you can be very nice and sound like you're really sorry, it really helps in these appeals. And so anyways, we got disapproved again. So I'm trying to see if I can find what I sent you guys today. To one of these ads, I just sent a very simple sweet message to them asking if we could get this re-reviewed. It doesn't look like it's going to show up, so I can show you. But to ask if we could get this re-reviewed so that we can get back up and running. Unfortunately, it's already the day in which we're starting the episode delivery ads. We can't even run those because the entire moneyrevealed.com site has been blocked. So if we can't get these, it doesn't matter if we created a new business manager with a new credit card, which is what I would usually do, because they would still have our URL blocked. So what we are trying to do right now is get the episode delivery URLs on those pages on a different URL that's not moneyrevealed.com, so that we can at least get the content out. But we will see what happens. Mistakes happen, but I was really frustrated that this is how this kind of went down, because we were just getting started, and I knew we were going to be able to spend that 100K profitably, right? It's not just about spending the budget. Like, I knew we were going to be able to keep this under a $7 cost per lead for them. And I knew that this would be hugely profitable with the financial offers that they had on the back. So just like the Keto docuseries, I'll keep you guys updated with how this shakes out. I hope these were helpful. Love shooting these videos for you guys. Please feel free to ask questions in the Facebook group. And yeah, the goal of these Watch Me Work videos is just for you to see live over our shoulder. I know I learn best from watching what other people are doing and how they're overcoming objections and what's working for them. And even just looking at the difference between this Money Revealed campaign and these keto campaigns, that's such a lesson in itself. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Talk soon.